Pero hasta hace un momento estaba con nosotras.
What's happening here? Why are there two Dunyarzad's? You already know that this isn't your first Sub-Zero's festival, don't you? I'm sure you already know how to use this. A knowledge capsule? Where did you get it? You should use it too, Paimon. You know Paimon?
Hay que usarla juntas, Paimon.
Well, this seems kinda sketchy, but... What the...
Recuerdos.
This is our 20th time at the Sub-Zero's festival? Huh? No. The 30th? 40th? Have we been trapped in a single day? If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have even realized... What the heck was inside that knowledge capsule? Your memories are still scrambled? Try your best to remember. This isn't the first time we've met. Let Paimon think. Oh, it's coming back. Meeting you was... what about everyone else? Why are you only helping the... Your sense of deja vu is stronger than everyone else's, yes? As for an explanation, you two received the blessing of Dendro. And you also have special... It was as if a single sheet of paper was separating those memories from your consciousness.
¿Qué le pasa a esa Dunyarzad?
A familiar question. I think this is the 7th time you asked. As you can see, she isn't doing well. You probably sensed it too. The Dunyarzad, that first Dunyarzad is in front of you right now, and she doesn't have a lot of time left.
¿Tengo que salir de este buque?
Looks like you're almost done sorting out your brain. Oh yeah, I'm Nahida.
Lo sé, ya te presentaste antes.
Good, you passed the test. What's happening? You can awaken our memories, and you seem like you know what's going on. Oh, wait. Everything in this world runs in a loop. This cycle is called a samsara. You, me, as for the truth, that's on you to find out. If you were told the truth instead of discovering it yourselves, it would literally blow your mind. I can only give you surface level help, like bits of information and subtle hints. For the rest of the time, I'll be doing all... She looks like she isn't doing well at all. Her illness gets worse. If we can break out of the samsara, I might be able to save her. But as things are right now, she's just a small bird in the sky that's about to lose its last feathers. All I can do is raise a... You sure love to use weird analogies. Analogies are wonderful tools. They let you use existing knowledge to... Okay, so, with what you know so far, what do you think the truth is?
Deja de poner mis ideas en orden.
Time loop. You've given similarly wrong answers in the past. A pity. Still the wrong answer? Paimon thought that made a lot of sense. It feels like time... A simple time loop can't explain some of the phenomena. You two are still missing a lot of information. Dunyarzad. The Sub-Zero's festival is happening every day, but that doesn't mean we can waste an infinite amount of them. Hurry and find the truth before today's festival. Nahida! We brought a friend! Are you busy? I thought I told you that it won't help to bring anyone here. We just wanted her to see the real Dunyarzad's condition.
The real Dunyarzad? Where and...
Huh? I told you that you two are special. Other people can't see me or...
Hold on. Over there. Is that?
¿Puedes verla?
Wow, how perceptive. Does she have an...
Miss Dunyarzad, she's lying down here, isn't she?
Her condition's really bad, and she's basically in a coma.
I can sense her aura. There are also lingering feelings of...
Do you believe us now? The Sub-Zero's festival has been repeating. So, you think the sages are behind this?
Yeah, they've always been against us. Wouldn't surprise me if they're using the Akasha to intentionally repeat the Sub-Zero's festival as a sick joke.
You have a point. Aside from the Dendro Archon, the Academy... Maybe there's more to the Akasha than we know.
Nahila, ¿qué puedes decirnos del Akasha?
Right! Didn't you awaken our memories using something that looked like a knowledge capsule? That means you must know...
The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of...
A gnosis could do that? No wonder the Akasha is so magical. It's being
So, this Nahida you mentioned.
She said, and Paimon quotes, "The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power."
Compiles the wisdom of the entire populace and grants knowledge to the people. Wait.
¿Qué pasa?
I get the grants knowledge part. That's what people have always used the Akasha for. But compiling the entire populace is...
Did she mean that the sages enter new knowledge into the Akasha?
Lo dudo.
Oh, yeah. That sounds about right. What do you think?
You mean the Akasha is causing our mental fatigue? Now, when the desert dwellers set off on their quest for knowledge, a sage once said, knowledge always... Compiling the entire country's knowledge. You think the Akasha pulled a 180 and is extracting information from us?
¿Pero cómo haría eso?
Who knows? The Akasha can put knowledge into our heads, so who's to say that it can't also poke around in there? We don't know any specific.
What's the point of doing something like that?
Just think about it. If you could combine the knowledge of every single person in Sumeru, then you can basically turn Sumeru's... This hive mind could make breakthroughs in problems that even the smartest geniuses can't crack.
An excellent deduction. And the analogy comparing Sumeru City to a massive brain?
In that case, we should take off our Akasha terminals right away. Maybe that'll solve this problem.
Vale la pena intentarlo.
Yeah, I was only wearing this for show in the first place. Didn't expect the sages to cook up such a conspiracy. Mark my words, when this is over, I'm getting evidence and...
How does everyone feel?
Me di cuenta de algo más.
Huh? What is it?
Siempre suena un beep cuando termina el día.
Oh, that! Paimon knows what you're talking about. It's a single soft beep that sounds like it's coming from the...
The sound of a beep. Could it be a prompt tone for when the Akasha is operating?
Escuché el mismo sonido en Puerto Ormos.
That's probably an important clue. We weren't using our terminals, but we heard a beep anyway. Traveler, did you hear that?
I heard it too. Our ears aren't messing with us. There was definitely a beep, but it sounded like it was coming from We took off our Akasha terminals.
Paimon remembers everything!
Good. You adapted quickly this time.
Ayer, al final de la noche,
We definitely took off our Akasha terminals last night, But we still heard that beep. Why is that?
Solo creímos que nos los habíamos quitado.
But now we can at least confirm one thing. The Akasha... Oh, Paimon doesn't get it. Why would the Akasha go this far if all it wants is everybody's...
It's extremely difficult for lab rats in an experiment to understand why they're
If we're lab rats, then what are you? Nahida, you've never told us anything about your...
I guess...
The moon? Wasn't that the result of our divination?
Anyway, knowing who I am won't help you get closer to the truth, so you should focus on other things. Don't get distracted and miss any clues.
Okay then. Dia helped us a lot yesterday, so let's go find her. If Paimon's Whew, it's finally nighttime. Aside from Dia not getting injured, Listen, Nahida, we found out that Dia got out just fine today, even though she got injured Do you think the Samsara has been broken? Have we saved Dunya?
Really? Good job on all that progress.
Hey, what kind of an answer is that?
Tomorrow will come. Everyone assumes this is common knowledge, but the only way you can know that for sure is if you experience tomorrow. How many todays has it been? Is it possible that today will be followed by yesterday? This tomorrow, it's even possible that this entire world is a lie, and the history of the whole world has just been one.
Okay, no more.
That's why it makes no sense.
We're still in the same day.
Como era de esperar, no es tan sencillo como pensábamos.
Would there have been a point? You would have spent the night with new worries, with tomorrow still. In that case, you might as well rest within that brief moment of hope. An opportunity like that doesn't come by often, and I thought it...
Paimon's at the Duke did that!
Of course. In the time we've been together, you two have been...
Paimon's flattered and everything, but maybe you're taking things a little...
What I mean is, even though I had asked you to solve this puzzle, you two are still the only ones who can see me and sense my presence. In other words, if you weren't here, I may as well not exist. That's why you two have been...
Nahida's talking about confusing stuff.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. So, Traveler, did the new clues yesterday help you gain a new understanding of the situation?
Efectivamente, la teoría del bucle temporal es incorrecta.
Huh? Why are you scrapping your previous theory?
Las habilidades de lucha de Leila están mejorando.
Oh yeah, you're right! Gosh, how did we not notice that? In a simple time loop...
So, what's your new hypothesis?
Nuestros recuerdos se borran al final de cada día.
Oh! Then the beep we hear every night could just be indicating the deletion of our memories! That's why when we wake up, everyone thinks the Sub-Zero's festival hasn't happened yet! It's already the next day, but muscle memory can't be erased! That's why Dia has been getting better at using...
A brilliant deduction.
Nahida, tell us if we're right or wrong!
To put it simply, it's as if you've mistaken a pyro crystal fly for a firefly in the night. You lost sight of its true nature because you focused too much.
That isn't simple at all!
Con que sigue siendo una conclusión errónea.
Why don't you go talk to Miss Dia again? You might learn something new.
Right! She did help us find our latest clue after all. Nahida, we're back!
You're back early today. Did you find something new?
Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the same time, we have a new question.
¿Qué pasaría si intentamos salir de la ciudad?
Leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plan.
We did? But We don't remember anything. What happened after we talked?
Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, but you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't...
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we know it, it'll already be the next day. But still...
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories.
Puede que la clave de todo esté ahí.
Yep, something here is definitely fishy. Our memories are back!
Vamos, hoy intentaremos salir en la ciudad.
About that. Well, where should Paimon begin?
¿Eh? ¿Qué quiere decir?
Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message for you.
¿Un mensaje? ¿De quién?
Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
¿Es esta mi propia voz?
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday.
Vamos, hoy intentaremos salir en la ciudad.
Okay, let's go.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the academia?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage.
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormos. If I don't hurry, they'll be stolen.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next time.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lockdown for Sumeru City today. Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else.
Parece que esos tipos de la academia no confían nada en ti.
Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our own hands. Why don't we climb over the walls? Those guards can't be everywhere. This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Let's hurry!
Paimon, quédate aquí.
Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind?
Una de nosotras tiene que quedarse de testigo.
But what if things get really weird out there and you get into some trouble? Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but we've always been together, haven't we?
Si salimos juntas, pasará lo mismo que antes.
Okay. Paimon will wait for you. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look.
Lo sé, lo sé.
And please, be... Memories!
Vamos, hoy intentaremos salir en la ciudad.
Traveler!
¿Qué te pasa, Paimon?
Paimon thought Paimon would never see you again. Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back. You promised Paimon that you were only taking a quick look.
¿Que yo prometí qué cosa?
Paimon, calm down. She's here now. I don't think she understood what you were saying.
Paimon doesn't care. Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay. Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day.
Aunque no sé qué es lo que hice, perdóname, Paimon. Yo nunca te abandonaría.
Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't actually disappear.
Okay, Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what... I see. Using two people...
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant.
¿No será que viste mal? ¿Te distrajiste un momento o algo así?
No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention.
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this?
Así es, no sabía que existía ese hacer.
I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased?
No se permite salir y quien salga perderá sus recuerdos.
It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside.
Si los recuerdos pueden volarse, ¿existe alguna alternativa?
Something like a message? But how can we send it back?
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right?
Yep, now we're talking.
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal?
I made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that it could connect
To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the back of your hand.
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're outside the city.
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now.
Merece la pena intentarlo.
Let's go then. Let's expose those sages.
Te tendrás que quedar aquí otra vez.
All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being separated since it happened once yesterday. But Paimon still isn't happy about it.
Hasta mañana, Paimon.
Okay. See you tomorrow, Traveler. That covers everything that's happened so far.
¿El mensaje lo grabé ahí fuera?
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside.
Okay, now that you understand what's going on,
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is... I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. All these spaces are empty, except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human...
that's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru City space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable.
There's another part here. You only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing, one after the other, absorbed by some... And now, even the final space has all... Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from here or...
The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal.
After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared.
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zero's... Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Do lots of new... Paimon's head is spinning. Just what are these spaces?
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret.
Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's an analogy and a half.
Un secreto. No me ha dado el tiempo. Tengo que poner mis ideas en orden.
Hey, where are you going?
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival?
Pregunte, profesora Nagila.
Okay, first off,
Those spaces remind me of dreams. Like the one I had in the... Okay, Nahida said we've already experienced this... The moon illusions... We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when she was... Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. That...
correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis, and it grants knowledge to the people. It compiles the wisdom of... It is the manifestation of the god of...
That doesn't... That doesn't...
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the... But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiled?
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom.
So in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia... Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions. And the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord... The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh?
Pero parece que a los sabios no les basta con eso.
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the
My mind feels exhausted even... Grand Sage said, ghost... Huh. Those spaces kept disappearing before... Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces appeared.
Correct. The Akasha Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's. While they're now vacant, no one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream. And so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream.
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get it.
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminal.
All right, last question. Who...
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. Now that I think about it, wasn't it... Now that I think about it, what...
So you noticed.
Eres la reina menor Kusanali.
I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very... It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this.
Me gustaría preguntarte unas cosas, pero ahora no es el momento oportuno.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now, with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, this is unforgivable. After we end the Sub-Zero's festival Samsara, we have to look into the...
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This is...
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun.
A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time today.
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything... Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
¿A dónde fue Nusasat?
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way!
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyar?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream. So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the...
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad.
Puppets are stiff and can't copy a living person's vitality. After all, they're just there as filler. You know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from...
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she still...
Significó mucho para ella.
Far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sub-Zero's festival with so many regrets.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the sage's fault.
I'm not beating myself up. All I...
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed...
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon...
Great, but how do we do it?
Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even that means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Huh? So, how should we find that?
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their conscious, which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Imagination?
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when the server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally assume that food is on. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate, the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold and mora. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be food.
¿Y qué hacemos tras localizar al dueño?
Find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will wake up and...
How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, it'd be like... And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming? After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point, as for me, during this...
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the Traveler went?
Yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary...
Paimon's still a little upset that we've come this far, only for... She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. But fate was against her.
Me siento muy abatida de repente.
Yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time. But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would definitely want to see us save everyone else. So Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no?
Es poco probable. Si supieran de Pan, se darían cuenta fácilmente de que están soñando.
Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't. Remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here? She said it was because she had forgotten something.
Sí, lo recuerdo.
Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She pointed it out to us the night before the Sub-Zero's festival.
Vamos a ver, quizás encontremos alguna pista.
Yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll probably... This is the place! It's rude to enter other people's spaces without permission, but desperate time... Hey! The windows are unlocked! Okay, Paimon's gonna... This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing inside except this book on the table. Should we open it? Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Sounds like she was always... Even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival, she must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even thank her.
Lusasa.
Hey! Where are you off to? It's Dunyarzad's puppet.
Gracias.
Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Denyerzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Nilu's dance of Sub-Zerus.
Apenas puedo decorarlo.
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Denyerzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Lunsasad?
Yes, Traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come...
No arrepentirse de nada.
What? Where are we going this time?
Iremos a ver a danza Sub-Zerus.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organized. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise.
How did...
Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's...
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the Academia, that's another... Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff?
Tal como me imaginaba.
Oh, of course! If this is the Sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
Esas los foles no son.
Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful...
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the ones from the legend?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away?
Yeah. What's going on here?
Nilo, cierra los ojos.
Huh?
Imagínate que los Hayo no están delante de ti.
You guys are acting weird.
Hey! They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What is the plan? Purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stick. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be real Padisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu?
Exacto.
But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that... How should we make Nilu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
¿Cómo lo supiste?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sub-Zero?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you... As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream.
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to...
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to the story. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave... All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his wife lying next to him said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?" In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the Academia.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story?
Yes. But his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed...
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the story.
El sueño de venir acabó a punto ahora que Nilo se dio cuenta.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost... Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can.
Da lo mejor de ti.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the Dance of Sub-Zeros.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time.
Buenos días, Paimon.
Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival! Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara?
Ya me acuerdo.
Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal!
Pasamos rápido a ver a Luciasat.
She's not in her room. What happened?
Vayamos al sitio de siempre.
Huh? What usual spot?
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Dunyarzad.
Oh, a Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to... I just had a dream. And I saw Nilu performing...
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero... And... Dunyarzad,
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about...
let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that...
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. And not a moment too soon.
Es un verdadero milagro.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the Sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of...
Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us.